Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. I just quickly wanted to discuss the Iowa men's basketball team. They recently defeated the Michigan Wolverines on the road. Of course, before that, they lost to the Maryland Terrapins, which I said at home was a must-win game. And of course, they lost vis-a-vis a last-second shot, and it was definitely a tough loss. Now, the thing is, and I always say this, guys, that the net rankings, when we look at the net rankings and team sheets and quad one, quad two, quad three wins, they're all subject to change. Are most of them going to stay where they're at? Yes, I would say a majority of them are going to stay where they're at, but they are subject to change, and some of them do, in fact, change. So is it possible that Maryland may end up being a quad two loss? Absolutely. Is it possible that they jump into the top 75 of the net rankings? Absolutely. They just defeated Nebraska. So that is definitely possible. Is it possible that Michigan rebounds from this loss to Iowa and gets into the top 75 and maybe this becomes a quad one win? Yes, it is. But is it likely? I would say probably not. I think of the two, the one that's probably at the moment that looks the most likely is Maryland get moving into top 75 and Iowa gaining a quad two loss there rather than a quad three. So a couple of things here that I wanted to comment on. Number one, before I discuss the Iowa versus Michigan game and Iowa versus Maryland game, there is, by the way, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, definitely subscribe. Would love for the channel to get to 2,000 subscribers by the time the football season rolls around. Support your boy. And that is a way you guys can do it. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you guys can. Links are in the description. You guys can donate also vis-a-vis a super chat on the channel, the donation button. But I saw an article from The Athletic that stated, I can't remember exactly what the title was. It'd be easy enough to find it because I posted it on Facebook, that there is apathy building with the Iowa fan base towards Fran McCaffrey. And it was a really interesting article, honestly. It delved into, it was a really, really deep dive into the fact that Fran McCaffrey is from Philadelphia. He coaches with a lot of passion, but at times it rubs people the wrong way. And then, you couple that, especially with the fact that apparently, now I don't know these sorts of things because I don't live in Iowa. I don't have the ability to be around the program like a lot of you guys can. But apparently, Fran McCaffrey is not the most willing to sign autographs and spend time with fans and things like that. He does kind of have a business-like approach, really focused on the program, the team, rather than the program as a whole. And, listen, I don't per se have an issue with that. If that's how he is, that's how he is. Because in the end, doing that does not contribute to wins. But what it does contribute to is fan engagement. And it does build you some goodwill, especially if things start to get a little shaky. But the main thing, and I think that this is why the fan base is getting apathetic towards Fran McCaffrey, is things are predictable. They used the guy in the article. They brought forth a guy who, let me see if I can find the article for you guys. They brought forth a guy who is like the iClub director or something like that. He runs the iClub, and he said that, Fran McCaffrey is a good guy, but he is, he's a good guy, but his teams are predictable. They will beat a majority of the time who they're supposed to beat, but they'll lose a majority of the time to the top teams. And also, we know that there's a good chance, if not 100% chance at the moment, that they will not be able to advance past the first round or the first weekend, rather, of the NCAA tournament. So here is the article here. I put really good story by The Athletic regarding Iowa men's basketball posted in the comment section. And this is the article here. Can Iowa men's basketball rebound from the verge of apathy? And like I said, it was a really detailed, really detailed article. I absolutely recommend reading it. You guys know seldom I give the Iowa media that endorsement, but nonetheless, here, let's watch this. I don't think I watched this yet. Let me share my sound here so we can watch this together. Let's see what it says.
This is an exciting day for me to introduce the new head men's basketball coach at the University of Iowa, Fran McCaffrey. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much. This is a very proud moment for me. I made.
Hopefully this sound is not copyright because it's going to suck. I hate it when that happens, when you play a clip and you have to cut it out because it's copyright infringement.
It clear from minute one that I wanted to be your coach. We're going to compete. We're going to play the game the right way. I'm going to coach with passion, but our players are going to have fun. And this play.
And honestly, I would agree with everything that he has said. His teams definitely play with a smile on their face. A majority of the time, they play hard. Iowa plays a up-tempo, fun, player-focused system, and a lot of players like to play in the system. The reason Iowa doesn't get on a consistent basis the top-tier recruits is not because Iowa has not been a good program. It's not because, Iowa and Iowa City's not a cool college town to be in. It's not because there's not enough participation from the fan base. It's because in basketball, mostly the blue bloods are the blue bloods, and they have the money, and all of these top kids, they don't care if 3 other kids in their same class commit to the same school. I mean, we've seen time and time again where 5 top 30 players will commit to Kentucky and the rest to North Carolina and the rest to Duke and the rest. And that's just the way it is. And especially nowadays with NIL, it makes it even harder. And when you're a school like Iowa, where most of that money, even though they try to do their best, is going to go to the football program, and rightfully so, it makes it tough to stick out if you're the basketball team. Whereas if you're a school like Duke, you're actually, a lot of that money is going to go to the basketball players, honestly. If you're North Carolina, a decent portion comparatively to football is still going to go to the basketball team. Kansas, same thing. Kentucky, same thing. Anyways.
Place is going to be rocking again.
And how about this in Iowa City? They have knocked off unbeaten Michigan State.
No good. Put back good by Woodbury.
First NCAA tournament win in 14 years. Fran McCaffrey, win number 500 in his career.
For Fran McCaffrey, as he will become the all-time winningest coach in Iowa men's basketball.
I just can't be more thankful for this opportunity, and I'm proud to be a Hawkeye. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's that. So it's a good article. So the thing is, guys, as I said, the reason why there is not as much buy-in at the moment from the fan base is because of the predictableness of the Iowa men's basketball program. And it's hard, and I understand it because I feel the same way. It's hard to get juiced as an Iowa fan, Iowa basketball fan, for the Iowa men's basketball team when you know that your ceiling is going to be about the same, where it'll be maybe you'll finish in the top 5 of the Big Ten standings, which is pretty good, not bad. You may have years here and there where you're a consistent top 25 team, maybe even top 20. Okay, we've seen that. But you're going to have overwhelming non-success in the Big Ten tournament and overwhelming non-success in the NCAA tournament. Now, the thing is, as I always say, ultimately it's hard. And I think that this is where the Iowa fan base is as well. It's hard to completely get to a place where we're calling for Fran McCaffery's job when he's going on his 6th straight NCAA tournament in a row. And it would have been 7 NCAA tournaments in a row had the COVID year not happened. Or it's either 6 or 7 with the COVID year. So it's hard to harp on the non-success in the biggest stages when he still gets them to the NCAA tournament, and still Iowa is a competitive program in the Big Ten year in, year out. And that's where the apathy comes into play, where it's like, what do we do? Our hands are tied. We can't call for his job because he's the winningest coach in Iowa men's basketball history. But, we want more. And so it is tough, for sure. It's a tough spot to be in. I think in my mind, I'm willing to give Fran one more recruiting cycle, and that started last year, or one more 4, maybe 5-year span. And that started not last year. This is the first year, but the first recruiting cycle was this last one with Owen Freeman, Price Sandfort, Brock Harding, and Ladji Dembele. And if he is unable to raise the bar past what we've already seen, I think it will be time to part ways. And it will be difficult, yes, because, and I said this when I did a deep analysis of Fran McCaffery, and I highly recommend you guys go and watch that video, that Fran does deserve credit for taking Iowa out of the depths it was 20 feet deep below the ground, the Iowa basketball men's program was. So he does get credit for that. But now we're at a place where it's a stable program. And you have NIL, you have the transfer portal. There's more opportunities now to make up your roster towards a roster that is good enough to compete at an extremely high level, at least 1 year out of a full recruiting span, 4 years. It's possible. Long gone are the days where you could only build your program through the high school ranks. And you'd have to wait minimum 2 years. If your program was terrible, you'd have to wait 2 years for your players to develop to start having a decent program again, decent team again. So we'll see. I just wanted to highlight that article. I think it's a good article. I actually really like this Iowa men's basketball team this year. I think they're a fun team. And I do want to say that I was correct when I said in the preseason that this team was going to have rough spots, that this was going to be a team that had bumps in the road, but this team also had a high ceiling, and there was a lot of talent on the roster. All right. But, and I also think, and I'm saying it right now, if Fran McCaffery can get this team to the NCAA tournament, I think that this will be one of his best coaching jobs in his career. Not best per se. I don't know if I'd be willing to go that far, but one of his best. One of his best. I remember preseason, I said that, Iowa for the first part of the season, which we have been in, now we're going into the latter half, it was going to be this constant, Iowa takes 2 steps forward, they take 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3, and really starting to figure things out. So anyways, let's take a look at the game, guys. So the loss versus Maryland was an absolutely terrible loss. Iowa absolutely was kicking themselves. They knew that it was a bad loss. There's not really much more to be said about it. Iowa allowed Maryland to hang in there for far too long. Fran McCaffrey did not make the defensive changes necessary for Iowa to slow down Jahmir Young for the Terrapins. And that was his mistake. And then on the last second shot, Maryland ran it perfectly and got the exact switch that they wanted. The least athletic player on the court in Peyton Sandfort, well, maybe Cricky, in a one-on-one ISO situation, and it was a bucket. I mean, that's a bucket 70% of the time, okay? So this was a must win, and Iowa did get the victory over Michigan. It's a quad 2 victory. Look at the stats, guys. One thing that's very interesting in the last couple of games is Ben Cricky. Ben Cricky, a.k.a. Ben Cricket, a.k.a. Ben Cricky. He was, for the first quarter, if not the first half of the season, the undisputed go-to guy for this Iowa Hawkeye team. And then Iowa hit a roadblock when Owen Freeman obviously was not that guy and was not a guy that you could, in the final 5 minutes, say, go get us a basket. We're going to get you the ball. Go get a basket. And it really hurt the Hawkeyes. Because teams, especially in college basketball, they have an identity. And when your identity runs square into a brick wall, it's hard to make those adjustments in real time. Ben Cricky has scored under double figures multiple times now in the last couple of games. Now, ultimately, I'm okay with it as long as Iowa wins. He's still averaging 16.1 points per game. He's obviously not having a bad year. All right. 5.2 rebounds. Not bad. Field goal percentage, 57.1. But 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in 27 minutes is not going to get it done. Okay? It's not going to get it done. And I think what is happening, here's his last 3 games. Last 4, 12, 25, 10, 8, 7. So the last 3 games, he's had 10, 9, and 7. All right? That's just not going to get it done, guys. Well, Iowa still may win, and I take that back. It may still get it done because the new identity of this Iowa team may just be that Cricky is not one of the top 2 go-to guys on this Iowa Hawkeye team. It's actually Tony Perkins, Peyton Sandfort, and Owen Freeman. I mean, I heard some people in the Iowa media saying that Owen Freeman is already Iowa's best player on the team. I don't know if I would go that far. I think Tony Perkins is Iowa's best player, and I said that preseason as well, and I was right. I said Tony Perkins would need to be the go-to guy and take that step forward. I was right about that as well. But Owen Freeman is definitely up there. I think what's happening with Cricky is now that he's in the Big Ten, the length and the athleticism is definitely affecting him. And, if teams are starting to take away his mid-range game, and his post-up game is not terrible, but it's not to the level of Luka Garza, where even though he's so unathletic, he's so skilled as a big guy that he can get everything he wants. That's not the case for Cricky. And it's, as I said last video, he's not as athletic as Rebracha. And so, you know, when you put an athletic big on him, especially an athletic big with length, it makes it very hard on him. And if you take away the mid-range jumper, it's even more tough. So Owen Freeman, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 9 boards in 36 minutes. Tony Perkins, 24 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists in 37 minutes. Cricky, 7 points, 4 rebounds. Sandfort, 26 points in 30 minutes. Huge game for him. But we already know Sandfort is an extremely streaky player. I want to see what the Iowa stats are now. Iowa basketball stats. So the net rankings won't be done yet, guys, but they won't be updated yet. But see, Tony Perkins is inching. He's inching there. He's getting close. Guys, I would not be surprised if by the end of the season, Tony Perkins is Iowa's leading scorer rather than Ben Cricky. Honestly, at the rate things are going. Josh Dix, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists in 25 minutes. Not bad. You know, I think anytime Josh Dix can score 7 or more points, you know, that's a good contribution. He's not yet one of Iowa's go-to guys yet. You know, he's still early in his career. He's going to be an upperclassman next year. Patrick McCaffrey, 4 points in 21 minutes. Let me say something about Patrick McCaffrey, guys. Patrick McCaffrey, and I say this in the most respect I can, and I do thank him for the service he gave the Iowa men's basketball program and the minutes he's logged and yada, yada, yada. But to me, Patrick McCaffrey is the most disappointing, him or Adam Woodbury, the most disappointing Iowa basketball player in the Fran McCaffrey era. Okay. Patrick McCaffrey came to Iowa as one of the highest rated recruits Fran McCaffrey has ever landed. Now, was part of that an over evaluation due to him being Fran's son? Perhaps. Nonetheless, Patrick McCaffrey has been the same player from his freshman year to his senior year. In fact, you could say in a lot of ways, he's actually taken steps backwards. That is why he is disappointing, because he never developed into the player that he could be. And he has the height and the athleticism to be a good ball player, really good ball player. But he never, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just didn't have the desire to get in the lab and really start working, but he didn't. And, you know, Patrick McCaffrey's career will go down as a big meh, blah, honestly. So anyways, DeSante Bowen, 6 minutes, 3 points. Brock Harding, 6 minutes, 0 points. Let's look at the team stats. Well, here's Michigan's real quick. They had a few players in double figures. Is Juwan Howard still Michigan's head coach? Iowa was able to slow down Terrace Reed. Let's see, stats, team stats. Iowa shot 53.4% to Michigan's 42.9%. Iowa shot 50% from 3. It's all on the shoulders of Peyton Sandfort. When Peyton doesn't shoot well, Iowa's percentage is awful. When he shoots well, their percentage is really good. Iowa was 18 of 18 from the charity stripe. Amazing. Total rebounds, 29 to 32. Iowa, you know, that's an area that needs to continue to be improved on. They allowed 13 offensive rebounds from Michigan. Assists 14 to 18, blocks 6 to 5, steals 5 to 4, turnovers 11 to 9, and fouls 18 to 14. So according to the box score, the reason why Iowa won this game is because they shot better than Michigan did. And you know, they credit to Iowa's defense. They got stops against Michigan, and that's why Michigan shot below 45%. All right, guys, here's the Ken Palm. This is probably updated. It's always updated quick. I mean, Iowa continues to be a highly rated Ken Palm team. 46th, 21st ranked offense, 111th ranked defense. Let's go ahead and look at one of their team sheets, net ranking team sheet. Customizable. So this is as of January 27th, 14:50 p.m. So that's 2:50 p.m. So it's not super up to date, or as up to date as it can be. Here's just some, really interesting stats. Wow, this is really detailed here, guys. BartTorvik.com. Does it have a plus minus on here? I don't know what adjusted POR PAG. Huh. Wonder what yeah, I don't know what that is. Anyways, well, it gives an offensive rating. Let's see. So Josh Dix has the best offensive rating. Owen Freeman second. Peyton Sandfort third. Ben Krikke fourth. Tony Perkins fifth. That's because Tony Perkins has a high usage rate and has the ball a lot. And plays a lot of minutes. DeSante Bowen, and then everybody else is out of the green. Obviously, green is good, red is bad. Interesting. This is very interesting. This is the first time I've seen this. O rating. Do they have a defensive rating? Usage. Tony Perkins, as I said, has the highest usage. Effective field goal percentage. What's this? What's this? I think this is defensive rating if I had to guess. DR. Let me see. So anyways, yeah, I don't know what DR means, but so anyways, that's an interesting chart. Maybe we'll use that next time. I don't want to research it per se right now when we're on stream, but suffice it to say, guys, this is a quad 2 victory for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And Iowa will probably move up a few spots. They'll probably move up to maybe 60, if I had to guess. Probably 60. Iowa, if they want a chance to make the NCAA tournament, have to work their way back into the 50s. And they'll have more than enough opportunities to do that. As you guys can see here, this was a quad 2 victory. Quad 2, Michigan away. Quad 2 is away 76 to 135. So if Michigan could get into the top 75, this would become a quad 1 victory. So, and Michigan is 96. So they would need to jump up 20 plus spots. So remaining, as I've said, guys, Iowa has another three quad two games, all winnable. Iowa needs to at least go 2-1 in that stretch against Indiana, Ohio State, and Penn State. Obviously, honestly, the best win would be against Ohio State. If they could win one, that would be a really nice one. Indiana would also be the two best ones would be Indiana and Ohio State. But Penn State, if they lose one, it cannot be to Penn State, guys, because Penn State is 118 and they are on the verge of that turning into a quad 3 loss, even though it's on the road. So, but those are all winnable games, guys. They could easily go 3-0. And then at the end of the year, they will have 5 more opportunities to pick up quad 1 victory. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. I know Iowa fans are not, by and large, as interested in basketball as they are in football, but I still want to have you guys covered every step of the way for the main sports out there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy with all facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.